There's a kind of anxiety most people never talk about. Not because it isn't serious, but because it doesn't look like anxiety at all. It doesn't come with panic attacks. It doesn't stop you from functioning. It doesn't even feel dramatic. Yet it quietly shapes how you think, how you rest, and how tense your body feels throughout the day. If you've ever felt uneasy without knowing why, mentally tired even when nothing is wrong, or unable to fully relax, this video might explain something important about your mind. What we're talking about today. When people hear the word anxiety, they usually imagine fear, but psychology shows that for many adults, anxiety becomes something much quieter. It hides behind responsibility, behind productivity, behind being high functioning. And because it doesn't interrupt your life, it goes unnoticed, sometimes for years. Today, we're going to talk about this silent anxiety, where it comes from, why your brain holds on to it, and why so many people live with it without realizing what's happening. Stay until the end, because the final part explains why this anxiety is so hard to turn off, and why it's not your fault. 1. How silent anxiety shows up. Silent anxiety doesn't announce itself. It doesn't say, "I'm anxious." Instead, it feels like restlessness, even during downtime, a mind that never fully slows down, tension in your shoulders, jaw, or chest, constant low-level worry without a clear cause, feeling mentally tired but unable to rest. You might still be productive, you still show up to work, you still handle responsibilities. From the outside, everything looks fine, but internally there's pressure, a sense that something is always slightly off. Many people describe it as never fully exhaling, and because life doesn't look bad, they tell themselves, "I shouldn't complain, I'm just tired, this is normal adulthood." So they keep going. That's how silent anxiety survives, by blending into everyday life. What makes this anxiety dangerous isn't how intense it feels, it's how normal it becomes to your brain. 2. How your brain learns to stay on edge. Your brain has one primary job: keep you safe. When it detects uncertainty, it activates your nervous system just enough to prepare you. The problem is modern life. There's no clear danger, but there is constant pressure, deadlines, financial uncertainty, social comparison, information overload, and the expectation to always be available. None of this feels life-threatening, but your nervous system doesn't know that. So instead of switching between stress and calm, your brain adapts. It creates a new baseline. Psychologists call this chronic nervous system activation. You're not anxious about something, your system is simply always alert. This is why silent anxiety feels physical. Shallow breathing, tight muscles, digestive issues, trouble sleeping deeply, and mental fog. Your body is acting like something might happen, even when nothing is happening. And over time, this state feels normal. Here's the part most people misunderstand, and it changes how you see yourself completely. 3. You're not weak, you're overloaded. Silent anxiety is not a personality flaw. It's not weakness. It's not a lack of gratitude. And it's not something you're imagining. It's a nervous system that hasn't been allowed to rest. Many adults grow up learning to function, not feel. You learn to push through discomfort, to stay busy, to distract yourself, to handle things on your own. Over time, your body learns that tension equals safety. So when life finally slows down, your mind doesn't relax, it speeds up. That's why some people feel more anxious on weekends, why vacations feel oddly uncomfortable, why silence feels heavy. Your brain isn't broken, it's unfamiliar with calm. And instead of blaming yourself, this is the moment to understand what's really happening. This is also why distraction feels helpful but never lasting. 4. Why distraction works and why it fails. Phones, noise, constant stimulation, they don't cure anxiety, they narrow attention. Distraction gives your brain something predictable to focus on, which temporarily lowers uncertainty. Scrolling, streaming, background noise. For a moment, your nervous system relaxes, but when the stimulation stops, the unease returns. That's why being alone with your thoughts feels uncomfortable, why silence feels louder than noise, why rest feels unsettling instead of refreshing. It's not because your thoughts are dangerous, it's because your nervous system has forgotten how to feel safe without stimulation. Silent anxiety feeds on constant alertness, not fear. 5. Why this anxiety is so hard to name. The hardest part about silent anxiety is that it doesn't feel serious enough to address. You're still functioning, still responsible, still capable, so you minimize it. But ignoring it doesn't make it disappear. It teaches your body that tension is normal. Over time, this leads to emotional numbness, chronic fatigue, loss of interest, and feeling disconnected from yourself. Not because you don't care, but because your system is tired of staying alert. This is often when people say, "I don't feel like myself anymore," and they don't realize why. 6. A calm reframe. If you recognize yourself in this video, there's nothing wrong with you. Your mind has been protecting you just a little too long. Silent anxiety is not something to fight. It's something to listen to. Not with panic, not with pressure, but with awareness. Calm isn't something you force. It's something your nervous system relearns slowly by noticing how often you stay tense, even when you don't need to be, and by giving your body permission to feel safe again. Sometimes the anxiety you need to address isn't loud at all. It's the quiet tension you've learned to live with.